friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, then I want to say thank you so very much for clicking on this video. I would love it if you would consider subscribing and joining the family. But in today's video, I am kicking off one of the first planners for 2021 that I will be reviewing over the next few weeks. I've got a couple of them lined up, and this one here is the new Petite Ashley Shelly planner. This is the first year she has come out with a petite version of her signature planner, and this one is just phenomenal. I love so much about it, and I can't wait to get into it a little bit more with you. So I want to kick things off giving you a few of my favorite specs on this planner and also talk a little bit about pricing, and then I will go into more detail once we open her up. So as I mentioned, this is the brand new 2021 Petite Ashley Shelly planner. I have this in the navy color. There are 3 colors to choose from. So there's navy, there's light blue, and turquoise. The price of this planner is $29.95, but I do have a special coupon for you guys. It's going to be down below in the description. You can get $5 off your own petite planner or even the signature planner, which is her coil bound. And this is going to be good until October 16th. So check out down below in the description for that coupon code for $5 off your order. And let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the specifications with this planner. So first off, size. And this is one of my favorite things because I'm very much a fan of a nice portable planner that I can bring on the go, which I'm sure a lot of you out there are the same way. So the size of this planner is 5.5 inches wide and 8.25 inches tall. So this is going to be kind of like your standard A5 size. And you can see the thickness here is maybe about an inch. The overall weight of this planner online, it says 1 pound. Like that is so incredible to have so much packed into this little 1 pound planner. The paper weight is 80 pounds and it's fantastic. I did do a pen test with some of my most used pens, and I think a lot of you out there probably use the same ones. So I'll be showing that to you. It is a lay flat binding. Now, with most lay flat bindings, you do have to break it in a little bit at first, but it has a beautiful stitched lay flat binding, and there is also a pocket in the front, as well as the tabs are nicely laminated. So those are just a few of my personal favorites when it comes to the specs of this planner, but let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about everything. So opening her up, you have this beautiful polka dot spread in the very front with Ashley Shelly written on here. You have that pocket that I mentioned, and it is a pretty substantial pocket. It's maybe not going to be too sturdy with it like packed full with stickers or notes or receipts. So it does have some good opening space though. I don't know if you're able to see that. So it does kind of give you a little bit of room for thinner pieces of paper. And then right away we come into a note from Ashley herself, and we have an inspiration board on the right side here. So kind of like your vision board idea, you can go ahead and if you want to put pictures in here or just quotes or word of the year kind of stuff, then that can go here on this inspiration board. Now after this, we come into a few note pages, and so one of my favorite things, which I didn't mention in the beginning, was how she has a space for you to keep your favorite meal ideas. I don't know about you guys, but I get total decision fatigue when it comes to figuring out what I want to do for dinner. And I think this would be so incredibly helpful to have. So that way, when I'm on the go, like if this is a planner you're going to carry and you're in the grocery store, you can take a quick glance at some of your favorite meals and then do your shopping for it. So I really appreciate this. But as you can see there, you have an area for important contacts as well. Then we get into the 2021 planning overview. So this is where you can do your future planning, or if you want to do your goal planning, this is also another great space as well. So you can pretty much use this for anything your heart desires. There's a lot of flexibility with this. I know I would probably keep track of birthdays and anniversaries here because I'm horrible at remembering that stuff. So really helpful spread there. Then you have your yearly overview for 2021 and 2022. You have all of your holidays for 2001 listed, which I really love because I don't get a ton of holidays off, but I like to highlight which ones I do so I can really keep track when I'm going and filling out my monthly calendar. And it just stands out a little bit better for me. And I really appreciate having that whole list there. So after those first few pages, we now move into the month view. Now, I mentioned that these tabs are laminated and they're very sturdy, super, super sturdy. And it's kind of neat because it's kind of like the step down, I think they call it a step down die or tab, where it's similar to the Emily Lay planner. And so it's cut out into the planner itself, which makes it so easy to flip to whatever month you're needing. I really like that touch with that step down tab here. The monthly overview is very substantial for this portable A5 size. You have lots of space in the boxes, and I love how very little of this spread is wasted space. She really only used a tiny amount of space here at the top for the month, and the rest is really left to the box size so that you can fit in a lot of information. And again, especially for this A5 size, I think that these boxes are probably some of the largest and roomiest that I've seen in a monthly layout. And I can always appreciate lines, and I'll bring it up a little closer. It's very, very faint turquoise lines that you have in the box, and I hate being crooked and just messy looking in my monthly boxes, so I really appreciate the lines that she has here. She also highlights the holidays very faintly, again, at the very top of the box, which I greatly appreciate, because it's kind of space that I don't necessarily use, and I don't know why, but I hate starting right at the very top and writing here. I want like full equal lines for everything that I write. So I think that was a great idea to put the holiday here in that upper portion. Just leaves the rest of it nice and open for you. So after the monthly layout, we then come to what she has as her creative spread. Now, this is where you can really inspire yourself for the month ahead. You can keep your goals in mind. You can be just mindful overall with what you want to accomplish. So we have, what are you grateful for right now? What are you worried, stressed about right now? What can you do to remove your stress? Then we have, what creates happiness in your life that you want to do more of this month? I really love how this is just really focusing on positivity, gratitude, and giving you a way to kind of work through what's working for you, what's not working for you, what can you do about it. I really appreciate this specific section here, this page. Then we have, what are you going to say no to this month? Imagine your month ahead. Write a few words that describe how you want to feel this month. Then what self-care activities do you want to do this month? also monthly goals, and she's got a cute little yay there when you check it off and accomplish that goal. And then you have a section here for your word of the month or your mantra for the month. So really inspiring, great way to be creative and not have it kind of be taking up space in your weekly pages. I like that this is separate from your weekly, to-do lists and appointments. It's a nice way for you to just kind of do a little journaling alongside your planning. So after that, you have some blank note pages. On the left side here, you have 2 separate lined columns. And then on the right side here, it's just 1 full page of lined. And then after that, you go right in to your week at a glance. Now, each week will have at the very top a section for you to write your monthly word. And then you have your note space here. I greatly appreciate when a planner includes some space for note taking when you've got your week at a glance. And you can also see another major plus. Saturday and Sunday have the same amount of space as the other days of the week. It drives me nuts, and I know that there are good reasons for it, but it just drives me nuts when a planner takes away from the weekend space in order to make more room for the weekdays. If you're like me and you work full time, I can't get much done during the week when it comes to taking care of the home. So I have a lot I need to do on Saturday and Sunday, and I need that space. So you've got it here. And then you can see as I bring it closer, you have your section for timed appointments, events. Then you have your to-do list with the tick boxes. And every Monday, she includes here a reminder for you to check in with your creative spread, which is this beautiful spread for your inspiration and mindfulness. And so that is going to be at the start of every Monday. Now, let's see how the month ends and how it transitions into the next month. So actually, January ends on a Sunday, so it's perfect where February picks up on a Monday. But let's find a month that does not do that. Okay, so March is one of those months that ends on a Wednesday. So if we come to the end of the weeks, we have March 28th, which is Sunday. Then it goes into April. So it picks up here. Okay, great. You've got the same colors from March carried over into this new week. And that way it's a great visual so that you can see where you're still at within your week and know that this is still within March. And then we come into your April colors. So that's great. I love having that visual with the color transitioning and sticking, to the same month originally, which again, for looking at what colors are for each month, you just look at the tabs and that will let you know. So I'm sure it continues just like that for all the others. Oh, and let's look here because I know this is something that interests me with calendar spreads. So you can see here that the calendar spread has the 30th and the 31st at the very bottom, and we ran out of boxes, and typically it's going to be about 5 boxes for 5 weeks worth. But of course it started later in the week, so it's going to cut into the bottom section. So it's not quite half the amount as the 23rd and 24th, but you do have a little bit of space there to where you can still write in. And again, you have the holiday at the very top, so I think that's nice to open up that space a little bit more. If it was down here like at the bottom, then I feel like you're really losing a lot more space. So I still really love that she puts those holidays in that section. So that's what it's going to look like when you have a larger month, or with it, it's not larger, it's just starting later on using up more of the boxes. So at the very back, I have my pen test. And I did this in the December note spread here. So let me show you what pens I decided to test out for you guys. So we have here the Pilot V5, which this is the retractable one that I have. Then we have the so popular Paper Mate Ink Joy Gel. This is the 0.5. I have my Sharpie pen, which I use all the time. I think it might be running out of a little bit of ink, but I wanted to show this because I think it's fantastic. Then we have the Muji, and this is the 0.38, and followed by the Pilot G2. I've got the 0.5 here. So when we look a little closer, as far as how vivid the ink is, I mean, the Pilot, that's a blue one, so unfortunately it doesn't really match what I'm trying to show. But the Ink Joy and the G2 definitely have a richer look on this particular paper. The Sharpie pen is a little bit dull, and I find sometimes those kind of felt tip pens do look somewhat dull on some papers, but it could also be that my pen might be running out of a little ink. But I still love it. The Muji 0.38, this is awesome if you are looking for a nice, crisp, fine line. And then when we turn it over, it's gonna be a little bit hard to tell, but it was the Ink Joy. Forgot for a moment. The Ink Joy has a tiny bit of ghosting on the other side. The Ink Joy is a very wet gel ink, so I'm not too surprised. I've had occasionally some issues with it in other planners just with how, wet of an ink it is. But for the most part, there's no bleed through. So there was no bleed through with any of them, just the tiniest bit of ghosting. And I mean, you really have to look and stare at it to see that ghosting on the Ink Joy. And so after December, that is it for the planner. There's no more note pages. So the only note pages are going to be what you have in the very front. There's no pocket back here, but you've got that beautiful polka dot design. You also have a ribbon bookmark, which I think is fantastic when it comes to these type of books. I like to have at least some sort of bookmark, and I don't really care for the magnetic bookmarks in these planners just because I don't like the bulge that it makes. So I really appreciate that she included a ribbon here. So that is a look at the new 2021 Ashley Shelly Petite Planner. And I think this is such a wonderful alternative to her coil planner. I did do a review of her coiled, which is the Signature Planner, last year, and I will leave that linked above in the cards so you can take a look at that if you want to just see a little bit more of the difference. I would have showed the difference side by side, but I gifted that planner to a friend last year. But I think it's wonderful to have now two options for her planner, and the insides are the exact same. It really is just the size difference and of course the binding difference. But again, make sure you check out the discount code that I have down below for you, and be on the lookout for some new planner reviews that I've got coming up in the next few weeks. Again, I appreciate you all so very much, and I will see you again soon in my next video. Bye.